The Queen is dead. Long live the King.
Yeah, and tonight's episode we talk about him, yes, the King, Elvis Presley, on the new Elvis by Baz Luhrmann.
As well as other movies and pop culture news from the week. So you want to start with Elvis or me time?
Okay, so we're gonna talk about Elvis the King, as we mentioned. But we're also gonna talk about Me Time. Those are new movies. I mean, relatively new. Me Time is brand new. It was released last week on Netflix, and Elvis was released a couple months ago.
Yeah.
Weeks. Anyways, it's still at the theaters, but it's also available on HBO Max. Let's start with I don't know what you want to start.
Well, let's start with Elvis.
Let's
since
start
we're
with
on
Elvis.
this royal trend.
So Baz Luhrmann, I think that's how you say his name.
That's how I've heard it.
He known for Moulin Rouge.
Romeo and
did
Juliet.
Romeo and Juliet. He did Australia, right?
That sounds right.
Yeah, with
I think
Hugh
so.
Jackman.
Yeah.
They are actually, sorry. They are apparently
Yes, re-releasing
releasing
it is like 6 episodes.
on Hulu.
Yes,
So let me go here real quick.
which is something to look forward to.
And it kind of flopped, or people hate it. I think it was more like a flop because like economically, meaning it cost a lot and it didn't do very well in the box office, because it's actually fun. I liked it.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting.
Yeah.
It did come out at a tricky time for a movie like this because it came out it was still part of the summer group. So I remember like we
What are
were
you talking about?
Elvis.
No, I'm talking about Australia.
Oh, Australia. Oh, okay.
Yeah, no,
Never mind. Never mind.
Yeah, no, I was checking if he directed Australia, and I was talking about
Yeah.
Australia. It's gonna be released. Wait, what are you talking about? Jeff? It's gonna be released in 6 episodes.
Yeah, we talked about that. They were splitting it up.
Australia.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Because then you start talking about Elvis. Now
Yeah,
it sounds like
okay. Well, we were having different conversations.
Yeah.
We're talking about Australia right now. Also
Yeah.
directed by Elvis director Baz Luhrmann.
Baz Luhrmann. He wrote and directed. So this one he wrote and directed about Elvis Presley, and of all the movies, of all the stories about Elvis, there's so many movies that he been in as an actor. The movies about him, about his life. He was sort of a legendary figure that came from nowhere and went up high, and then like a meteorite, like a fallen star. Is that what it's called?
Shooting star.
Shooting star.
Yeah.
Yeah. But anyways, Elvis by Baz Luhrmann, available in the theaters everywhere and in HBO Max. And yeah, what do you want to talk about?
I thought it was very interesting. It was definitely, if you've seen Moulin Rouge, you'll definitely recognize this is the same director. In that it's so like colorful and vibrant. I was really impressed by Austin Butler I thought he did a great job of doing Elvis, but without looking like a Vegas impersonator or anything.
And one thing about him, I didn't like his cast, and I'm gonna explain why. It's because of the poster. You look at the poster, I don't know, it doesn't do it for me. But watching the movie, it's really good. He does look like Elvis. He does.
He does.
Yeah, it was.
He does great with like the voice, the
works
accent.
really well.
Yeah, he did a great job.
So if the poster's stopping you from watching, ignore the poster.
Ignore it.
Marketing screwed that one up, because on the movie it's great.
Yeah, it's really great. What surprised me was I felt like at the end of this movie, I didn't really know a whole lot more about Elvis. I knew a few more things, but Elvis was still, throughout this whole thing, remained very mythic and legendary, and I feel like we learned a lot more about his agent, promoter, business manager, this guy, Colonel Tom Parker.
And he's the narrator, portrayed by Tom Hanks.
In a really well done fat suit.
Yeah, he does really well. Like sort of a bad guy, villain, despicable agent that find Elvis, makes Elvis, and exploit Elvis in all sorts of marketing, merchandise, as he claims, and he narrates the story. So there's some moments that he said at the very end, and this is not a spoiler, everybody knows Elvis died.
Yep.
At the end, he says, some people claim that he died because of the drugs. Some people claim he died because, what was the other thing? No, some people claim I killed him, he narrating say. And I say he died because of love. It's kind of like, come on, dude, really? What, your love for the money that exploit this guy so much? Anyways, he does terrific. Tom Hanks does it great.
Something else this movie did that was interesting to me, and I want to look at it more. There were a lot of like flashbacks to Elvis growing up and how he grew up in segregated Mississippi, but he spent a lot of time in either living in or hanging out in like black neighborhoods and in black churches and in black bars and things, where he was getting all of this like musical, at least African American musical influence, and also like fashion influence. And so we hear like the woman, I can't remember her name, but the woman who originally recorded Hound Dog. And anyway, he's like really good friends with a lot of these musicians and artists. And in the movie, they make it clear where Elvis gets his style and everything, and how the recording, the producers and the radio station managers are like, oh, this is great, it's black music, but it's a white boy, so people will listen. But one thing that I'm curious about was like all these black singers were like, oh, you'll do great, I'm so glad that you're a white boy, and so you're gonna get really rich off of this. And they were all like really okay with it, and I just wonder if that's the case. Like I can't, it's weird to me that a singer would be like, well, that's my song, but you're white, so you'll make a lot of money off of it. Good for you. Like, it seems like there would be a little bit of tension, frustration. I don't know. I thought that was weird, but I did like that they showed, they really clearly portrayed who he was and how he got to be who he was. Yeah,
the movie don't get into the details of after, but it does definitely show his inspirations, his tastes, the black music in the South, the church. There's a moment that he's listening to this guy singing in the church, meeting at church, and it's like there's a mix of that and makes him, what he is, the sacred, the profane, singing and shaking his butt and his parts, which is, unknown until then. It's the movie is mostly, and if not completely, about his career as narrated by his agent, Colonel Parker. Yeah. That it turns out there wasn't a Colonel and it wasn't Parker. Anyways.
Really sketchy dude.
Yeah, the snowman. And yeah, it was fun. The music is great. This is Elvis music. Also with versions, the original versions from those black artists. So both on the movie, and they're really good.
Yeah.
And time, you notice, you observe as you watch, you see time passing, but you have some subtitles in very interesting places. They found very creative ways to hide the like 19 with the actual environment. But even though that you have the timelines, time goes in a way, it's kind of fast, everything that goes, even though the movie is almost 3 hours.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't feel like that at all.
Yeah. But it goes kind of fast, because that's what happens, you start, he makes it, and then he starts going up, he stumbles a little, keep going up until he dies tragically. He's still causing the whole mythology that people believe that Elvis didn't die, he's hiding somewhere. But if that's the case, why they sold the rights to Michael Jackson? which actually right now is I'm not sure if the family of Michael Jackson inherit Elvis rights.
The rights to his music.
Yeah, because Michael bought a lot of Elvis. I think all of the Elvis and a lot of the Beatles.
A lot, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. There was a discussion back in the day when he died that he would go back to Sony. I don't have the details right now, but anyways, in the movie he dies and he stays dead, but he makes a mark. You know, he changed culture by colorful clothes, by dancing in sensual, which is something
wearing makeup.
Something that boggles me. He dances sensually. It's like there's nothing sensual about.
I mean, he's definitely got a few moves that are like, all right, you've got a pelvis. Congratulations. But a lot of
girls going crazy.
Yeah.
But it's like, anyways.
Different times.
Well, the movie is fun. It's beautifully photographed.
It is.
It's greatly directed and it's written. You see his career, you see his ascension and his fall. Priscilla Presley, his living daughter, saw the movie. Was close to the production.
Wait, isn't Priscilla his
wife? Sorry.
Lisa Marie is the daughter.
Is the daughter. Sorry.
Yeah.
The wife that survived him and has someone portraying her in the movie. She saw the movie. She liked it a lot. She said the Colonel was quite like that. They did a good job. He was like despicable like that.
So sad. The film is so beautiful, but the story is so sad. So it's this great intersection of sorrow and beauty that makes for good art.
It's tough on the audience because it's Tom Hanks. We grew up to love him.
I know.
But this one is like, you shouldn't be doing that. What's his bucket?
Woody?
Not happy. Jeez.
What do you think?
Forrest. You shouldn't do that.
Yes.
Forrest.
No, Forrest.
Yeah. Anyways, but it's fun. Again, is available on HBO Max and is available on
many theaters
nationwide, worldwide. Anything else about Elvis?
I don't think so.
Ladies and gentlemen, Elvis Presley has left the building.
Then we watched another film on Netflix. This one is brand new. This is a Kevin Hart family comedy, and I really enjoyed it. There were a couple things that were predictable from the beginning because it is the genre, but it was nice. It had some good messages and some good, really good humor.
Yeah, it was fun. It was funny. It is a type of movie that comes kind of under the radar because it's a Netflix movie, so there's no commercials and ads and banners everywhere trying to get your attention, and it's spoiling some of the jokes of the movie or some of the plots of the movie. This one's like Netflix, they release, we watch, we enjoy, we move on. This one was good. Kevin Hart is hilarious. He proved that more than once. Sorry, there's that.
Fly.
Our producer fly. Anyways, Mark Wahlberg was hilarious on it too, and he's funny. He proved that before. One thing about the movie is me time, right? So me time. It's only 5 on IMDb, but that's not saying much.
Yeah.
But on Rotten Tomatoes, it was showing. I don't know if it changed. Rotten Tomatoes. What? Yeah. Rotten Tomatoes is not really referenced for anything because so the critics gave it 6%, but again, critics shouldn't. The audiences didn't love it. Give it 33, and it's not that bad.
No, I thought it was fun. It was light. It's not, it was nothing groundbreaking. I don't feel any need to see it again or anything like that. But it was nice for some laughs and a lot of the story centered around things like family and friendship. So it's, it had a nice core. And I don't know. it was nice.
Yeah, no, it's fun.
It was exactly what I thought it would be. It's exactly what you'd expect from like Kevin Hart family comedy. You're gonna laugh a lot. There's gonna be some silliness, and it's gonna wrap up really nicely.
Yeah,
at the end.
It is about a guy that's heavily married.
He is heavily married.
Yes. I can't find the word, so heavily was the first one. It's like he's committed.
Yes.
He's happily, not heavily, married.
Yes.
And
he's a stay-at-home dad.
Stay-at-home dad.
And it's like super into it.
He abandoned his career to take care of the family. And there's a friend that's like, hey, you should come to my birthday party. This friend gives parties like over the top parties.
Yeah.
And it's like, I know I go with my family and the family, the wife decides, so no, you should go and take this time for you. It's you time. It's me
you need
time.
some me time. Yeah.
Yeah. So and they go from there, and all sort of crazy things happen and
shenanigans, hijinks, little malarkey.
And turtles get hurt in
Yes.
the production of this movie. No, not. But it looks like it.
Yeah.
And it was fun. Kevin Hart, I recommend it. I don't hate it. Like, I mean, 30% is not. I don't know. It's low. The critics 6%. It's sure the critics.
Yeah, but
They
this isn't a critic pleasing film.
Yeah, and
So-
these days they probably saw something. Oh, this movie doesn't have diversions. Diversity doesn't have something. To the checklist. No, it's for entertainment. It's for have fun, popcorn movie. Yeah. Me Time, available on Netflix. So about Rotten Tomatoes, I just mentioned, apparently is the lowest Rotten Tomatoes that both Mark Wahlberg and Kevin Hart has. So don't expect a sequel, but to watch one, it's fun.
Yeah. Okay, there's a couple movies coming up.
About Rotten Tomatoes, since we are on that, talking about that. Reviews, and this week was the post week of the Lord of the Rings of Power, and the show has its issues, all the problems we mentioned in the past episode.
Yeah,
if you don't know what I'm talking about, you
talked about it extensively.
do the previous episode and see why this Lord of the Rings show is not that great. Is
it even a Lord of the Rings show?
Is even
barely.
We could even say it's bad in many ways. Anyways, so because of all that, audiences everywhere that review the show are reviewing it poorly. Why? Because they didn't like it.
Plenty of people did like it, but a lot, especially like the diehard Tolkien fans or lifelong Tolkien fans who've actually read the books, aren't feeling it.
Yeah, no, but there's more people that like the Peter Jackson movies.
That too.
And people that first experience that. It's like it's not getting that. It's not getting that.
They're not delivering what was promised.
So because of that,
expected.
the reviews are low on IMDb. Is barely reaching 6. And Rotten Tomatoes is 30-some%. Same as this movie, almost. So, and because of that, Amazon it's doing certain strategies. They are like, it sort of became the standard in Hollywood. It's terrible, but they created this standard that if you didn't like the show, you're racist. And it's like, to be honest, if the show was perfect, but the cast was wrong. So this guy was cast, they cast a black guy, but the show is perfect, right? But this show is not even close to be perfect.
Yeah.
So the fact that they have a
and
black
the race
guy,
of the
a
actors
Chinese
has
guy,
nothing to do with it. The actors are doing a great job. It is not their fault.
But because of that, Amazon is, you're racist. You're a bunch of racists, a bunch of trolls. You're trolling us. And they suspended the review of the show on their platforms. You cannot say if you like it, if you don't like it, or how many stars. Even though they claimed that the show had 25 million on the first weekend on the first day.
25 million
Views.
Okay.
Yeah. Which there's all the graphics. The numbers are very, especially for considering that Amazon never reveals their numbers. This is the first time. So there's a discrepancies there because some people say that HBO, we know, is always affected their numbers, and apparently it was like 4.2 million on the first 4 hours for House of the Dragon, when for this one it was 1.2. So, but again, first 4 hours you have 20 more hours to gain on that. Either way, so they suspended. The fans cannot reveal; they cannot express their opinion. Also, they start deleting negative reviews.
Yeah, that's
so
Sketchville.
It's like, you have to like it, Oh, but I didn't like this. Delete it. Or I didn't like this. You racist. So it's like, it's a terrible standard that the industry created. It happens to Star Wars. It's been happening to Lord of the Rings. It happened to several other shows. But again, the problem is the core of the show. If the show is great and someone complained about the casting, it still wouldn't be racist. It still wouldn't be wrong. I mean, depends. Of course, there's racists
I mean,
out there.
if the basis of your complaint is I don't like seeing these black faces, that's super racist, and there's no place for that. But if your complaint is like this is not this is not a successful adaptation, this story feels weak, this feels shallow, this isn't interesting, this makes no sense, that has nothing to do with race and everything to do with really poor screenwriting and weird adaptation decisions.
The show is a mess everywhere. But because someone said it's like I was reading about this, I was thinking it almost makes me wonder. It's like, did they really cast that black guy or that black girl for diversity, or was there like a scapegoat? It's like, if we fail, we blame the audiences because of racism. Because honestly,
I haven't seen that many people complaining about race.
That's right, but they saying the audiences are doing that.
But I've done a pretty good job of curating my social media so that I hear stuff from all over the spectrum, all different different sides and stuff, and I really haven't heard anyone complaining about race. Galadriel being overpowered a little bit, which doesn't make sense to me, but
cast overall was
that hasn't been
was badly done. Now even the white people, if you don't want to talk about black people, if you're the white people, it's like the elves are known for being tall. It's like seriously, it's like this is not an elf. Come on,
they're not giving elf vibes, But yeah, I guess I'm just saying, I see a lot of reaction against racist fans, but I haven't seen a whole lot of racist fans.
Yeah, it's a scapegoat, even though if they didn't do it on purpose, it almost makes me think because it's a standard that's there. It's like, hey, if we put a black person, a person of color, or the race there, and if they complain, we accuse them,
Which is a shame because these are good actors.
Yeah. But,
I mean, they're doing. I can't remember her name, but Prince Doran's wife was a highlight to me. I thought she was hilarious and delightful and missing a beard, but most of what I would want from a dwarf woman.
Either way, it takes away all that takes away from the show. That's already not that good, so it has a big problem to the point that Elon Musk, the richest man on the planet, came out this week and declared on his Twitter it was a fact. It wasn't a fake one, since we know Twitter has those, and he knows. But he declared that Tolkien is rolling. How is this expression?
Yeah, rolling in his grave.
Rolling in his grave. He and he's right. Because of how they treating the source material. That's amazing.
The source material is phenomenal, and this adaptation is not living up to it. It does bug me though when people say, "Well, this is what this dead guy would think." You don't know that. You never met him. We've read his work, but we don't know what he would think.
Yeah, but I mean,
honestly, I don't think he would want anything to do with any of these film adaptations.
Oh no, he would never sell. There's reports of he being in. There was some adaptations of The Hobbit for the stage,
Yes.
and he wanted to watch. And when the Hobbit starts speaking stuff, like when they change lines, he could die. He honestly
Yeah.
was like pissed. So no, he was a purist. His work
Well,
was
yeah,
like
I'd given decades of his life to this.
he was done, revealed. So
Mm-hmm.
if you would do it, you would have at least to be close, really close. And this show is actually very far.
Yeah.
To the point that the speculations to say, oh, but we don't know. It's like, hey, but we know this, according to this. That is wrong. So that's why Musk, as other fans are like, dude, it's like you had one job, right? Here's the book. No, it's like, oh, let's. Anyways.
Yeah. I will say this for the show. It is finally getting me to read The Silmarillion. After like a lifetime of planning on it, I'm actually finally reading it. Slowly, but I'm reading it. So there is that positive.
Yeah. And that's what some people
there's that.
some justifications some people says like, oh, you people are calling this, which is like every time I say this is a bot. It's like you people should give it a chance. It's like it's not good, but it's something. It's like, and then some people come and say, it's not good, but it's making people go to read the books. It's like it's dangerous because if it's bad, people say it's like I thought I would read that book. I'm not gonna read that book.
Yeah.
Anyways,
or they'll just never do this again.
Oh no, they have a set for five. I mean, if anything, the state of J.R.R. Tolkien sold the rights for Lord of the Rings to be movies, and that made the Peter Jackson movies. And then the Swedish company apparently bought those rights. Amazon bought the rights to make TV shows about Lord of the Rings and The Hobbit, but they're going to a timeline, an era that has nothing. Is like mentions. Oh, this happened like 6,000 years ago. It's like let's make a show about that. But it's like, but we don't know, and you don't have the rights. So they decided that. Anyhow, so but they're still gonna try to do some 5 years of fanfic, mediocre fanfic. It's like a dumbed down, diverse, woke Tolkien. Anyways, enough of that. If you want to watch the Lord of the Rings,
we just call it the Rings of Power.
I actually call Amazon's Rings of Power.
There you go. That's accurate. Yeah. That's accurate.
Anyways, it's available on Amazon Prime.
Yes. Okay, there are a couple projects coming up that we've seen trailers for that we're actually excited about, and they look good. So the first one is a new trailer for Black Adam.
Yes, the DC property, the DC comic about the super villain. It's kind of like they're trying to make him an anti-hero.
There's a bit of
pulling
anti-hero
him to the hero side.
Or is he a bad guy who doesn't think he's a bad guy?
Oh, but that's that's the trope of pretty much every superhero movie in the last 20 years.
Okay, sure, but I mean, like, fair enough. But I mean, like, Lex Luthor is just full on committed.
Yeah, but Luthor believes he's doing the good for mankind.
Does he?
Yeah.
But I just don't have a sense of benevolence.
Snyder one.
I don't know.
He's neither one. He's like he treats Superman and Batman as gods, and gods shouldn't meddle with man, and you're an alien, you're foreign and outside and all that. So yeah, Luthor. I would say Doctor Doom, but Doctor Doom is a tyrant, and tyrants have that, also.
Yeah.
They do that thing. Black Adam becomes a tyrant in Kandak, so yeah, it could be that, but I don't know. We have to see. The trailer looks really good.
It does.
It looks really good. We see the Justice Society working. We see all of them, I think, right? All of them. The girl.
There's is it Cyclone? What's her name?
Cyclone girl, cycle girl. Anyways.
I don't think there's a girl. Well, anyway, yeah.
Cyclone.
Hawkman looks great. Dr. Fate looks cool. This woman whose name we can't seem to remember Looks very cool. There is one scene that is like extremely derivative, and I don't know what came first. But we see the Quinjet rising out of the front lawn of Dr. Xavier's school for. Oh, sorry. It's a plane coming out of the front lawn of. It looks like Dr. Fate's
there
place.
you got it wrong because on the X-Men they got it out of the pool.
Oh, okay, sorry. Well, I guess I'm just saying we've seen it before in a different property, but it's cool, so, you know.
Yeah. And talking about race,
and there's only so many places to hide a jet on a, you know, in a
since you were talking about
19th century mansion.
Hawkman on this one, he's black. In the books, he's not black. This one is like, okay. I guess if you're gonna change one.
I don't know what changes that. It doesn't really seem to change anything about him.
I mean, he's a Nazi. It's like he's from a Nazi planet. So what's the backstory for him? He's the one black guy on the Nazi planet, or they're all black?
Well, I don't know if Thanagarians, if they distinguish between white and black the same way that humans do, because like you said, it's a different planet.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. They all look the same because.
Are they Nazis or are they just fascists?
Fascists. Which is
so the whole racial distinction thing can be interpreted a bunch of ways.
But anyways, it's not that big of a deal if the movie is good, you know. Sure.
Yeah, and the character looks great. He's got this cool mace that like switches into an axe, and it looks cool.
Yeah, the reasoning is still kind of dumb. It's like inclusivity, diversity to sell more, which sometimes it doesn't affect sales because it depends on the final product. And the final product, if anything, the trailer looks very good. Yeah. It is exciting. Black Adam seems just a little bit, not a lot, a little bit overpowered. I just started that because he picked the bullet with his hand. And
what are his powers in the books?
He's super strong. He flies.
Okay.
He has the lightnings, you know, Shazam. Fast, but the whole speed on comic books, and when they come to movies is relative. There's all the discussion if Superman or the Flash are faster, and there's like different times, different versions that happen. That one is faster and the other is faster than the other moment. So when you see Black Adam super fast, is like, I don't know. But so far looks good. The movie comes in October with Dwayne Johnson, Rock, Pierce Brosnan, and many more.
Yes. Yeah, it looks really good. And yeah. Okay, the other trailer we saw was for Netflix's sequel to Knives Out, still directed by Rian Johnson, still starring Daniel Craig as Benoit Blanc. This is another murder mystery called Glass Onion. Looks super fun.
Great cast: Dave Bautista, Edward Norton, Kate Hudson, Julie Wen. I can't remember her last name.
I remember there are few.
Julie Wen. She's the Asian lady from Gray Man. She was on what's a movie called the Iron Fist. She was on. What else? She was on some other things. Oh, Game of Thrones. So she's been working hard. Catherine Kahn, is that Han? Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Agatha, yes.
Catherine Kahn.
Han.
I started calling her Catherine Kahn because like it's cooler. But it's Han.
Write her a letter, tell her that.
What else?
She'll super appreciate it.
What else? I don't know. Maybe her name is made up anyways.
Probably. I don't know. Those are like the big names that I recognize in the cast, but it just looks. I mean, it's the same like super fun format. A bunch of people. Oh, the trailer seems to indicate there's a lot of like hidden machinery, like hidden puzzles, secret passages, things. So, like a bunch of people show up at an estate. Somebody gets murdered, and all the suspects are the rest of the guests. It's a great, super entertaining format, and I immensely look forward to it.
Yeah, it looks fun. It looks compelling. Rian Johnson did a terrible job on The Last Jedi, but the first one, Knives Out, was good. Was entertaining, and this one seems to go in the same way.
Yes.
Rian Johnson was on the news the past week saying that he suffered with the rejection The Last Jedi.
Oh yeah, I bet that's gotta suck to work so hard on something and have like half of the fandom just hate it so much.
More than half.
Yeah.
And also he said that he feel prouder. It's like with time he actually feels prouder for the job he did. It's just like, yeah, okay, that I guess that makes one person in a planet. No, his mom too. So too. Anyway, Knives Out, onion glass, a knife.
Nope, glass onion.
Glass onion, a Knives Out story comes on Netflix for the holidays. So December,
Yes.
Yeah.
Celebrate that special time of year with a murder. Okay, let's look at the box office. Top.
Yeah, just
the two.
Okay.
Yeah.
Rumors. Now let's go box office first.
Yeah. I put it in order, man. Movies. Trailers.
Yes.
Box office. Okay, so more about Top Gun over this Labor Day weekend.
Top Gun became the fifth best, greatest, biggest box office, and it's a case to study. It's pretty. The movie is good. That's
insanely popular.
But it's fast. The fifth.
Yes.
There was not to compare with the Avengers because they made like $2 billion in the first weekend. So it's like but comparing to second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, the other ones, it's like consistently growing fast. Anyways, in this past weekend was a holiday weekend. It had some special screenings of older movies. And including the back to screens of Spider-Man.
That's right.
No Way Home. With some special scenes, extra scenes, like a money grab. So come on, and that movie is already what? It is on Disney, I think. I'm not sure if it's
probably
on Disney, but it's available on digital. Everybody saw. Everybody cried. Whoever saw. And then they brought it back, and it didn't do well. I mean, at least it couldn't be Top Gun.
Yeah. Which. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was all that considered was a bleak weekend. It was a bleak box office. It was like it went really down, and it started going down because summer's over. Less and less movies are coming out in the theater. About that, Bob Iger, former CEO of Disney, was talking that going to the movies is not dead. It's not a dead business. It's gonna decrease. It's gonna be different, but it's always gonna be around. On another hand, he's talking about streamings. He said that throughout this war of streamings, some will not survive. When he was asked which platforms he thought it wouldn't survive, he didn't say it. But yeah, we'll see.
It's definitely a tough environment to get to. Like we saw, CNN lasted all of 3 weeks.
Yeah.
Barely.
But like what you sell, it's like to CNN it was.
Yeah.
Especially competing with so much news, with so much free stuff, and then you have cable. And then you have the internet that you don't have to. You scroll, you go through pages, you saw clips, YouTube, other video platforms. News are like so much on the internet. And then against that, streaming, you're gonna compete with. I'm paying for it. Movies, TV shows, documentaries, reality shows. Yeah, it was. I would not even say that CNN was a terrible timing, but it was a terrible idea.
Yeah, and that's what I mean. Like, you can't just like jump in there. Like, you have to have really something to stand out to be worth paying for because there's so many others. I don't know. It's just I think Iger is right about that. It's a tough market, and not everybody is going to survive. We'll see. We shall see. In the meantime, House of the Dragon is doing well.
Yes.
And it's interesting that like Amazon, we have this like these warring fantasy shows between Amazon and HBO, and as heartbreaking as Rings of Power is, House of the Dragon, for me anyway, is delivering.
Yeah, it's doing really well. I'm not giving a lot of expectation.
Which could be why it's doing well. With Rings of Power, expectations were up here. For House of the Dragons, anyway.
Yeah, not because of disappointment with last season of Game of Thrones, which personally it didn't disappointed me much.
Really?
I thought it was okay.
But given the other seasons were like mind blowing, and then they deliver this just like mediocre rough draft of a last season.
Just because she turns out to be a bad guy.
That wasn't the problem.
What was the problem?
It was everything else. It's like, okay, we're gonna spend a while with this leading up to this battle. We're gonna conduct the battle in the worst way possible. All these massive twists and foreshadowing and prophecies from the rest of the show. We're just gonna ignore those. We'll kill Daenerys and Bran is the king. Okay, bye.
Anyways, but House of the Dragon is doing well. It's so far as entertaining, great characters. It's HBO. They do most of the stuff really well. If this one is not different, and Matt Smith is killing.
Holy cow!
This past season.
Yeah.
He
was a lovely Doctor Who, but holy cow. He thinks he found his place with like the twisted bad guy.
But
anyway,
and it was the most in-demand new show for the second week. The numbers for Rings of Power are not computed yet, especially because Amazon did not clear the numbers. But another one that came out that is coming to the top again is Sandman. Yeah,
that makes sense. That was a pretty stellar show. So House of the Dragon has already been renewed for season 2, and both Henry Cavill and Elizabeth Olsen are in talks to join the next season.
Rumors.
Given that Henry Cavill we know looks fantastic with white hair and does great things with swords and medieval armor, like that seems very natural. And Elizabeth Olsen, I don't know. Let's
there's
go.
another rumor about Elizabeth is that Wanda would get a solo movie, which is like, no, come on. You already messed up people's heads that believing that she's not a bad guy. When she is a bad guy. And they're going to give her a movie. But again, with the multiverse, the possibilities are limitless.
Yeah, we'll see. Okay, let's go over to DC for a minute. Dan Lin is no longer in the mix.
Yeah.
For the top job.
Yeah, to be the executive and CEO of DC Studios. Opens door for Deborah Snyder to be, that would be nice. But they have a short list. We don't know. We know she is in the short list, but we'll see.
Okay. And then
also from DC Warner, there's concrete rumors that Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill will be back, and Zaslav would go for the Justice League. So that would reinforce the fact that Deborah Snyder restoring the Snyderverse would happen.
I dare not to hope, but that would be so great. Another ringing endorsement for Zack Snyder. It was Christopher Nolan talking about why he wanted Snyder to direct Man of Steel.
Yes.
He said, quote, "He understands the power of iconic images." And yeah, totally. We could stop and do like a whole episode just about the closing scenes of Man of Steel when they're like taking his body,
That's Batman vs Superman.
For Batman vs Superman. Okay, whatever. It's just the scene is so great and like iconic images. Anyway. it's a bit of a soapbox, but I just have to say I agree with Christopher Nolan and would love to see more Zack Snyder directing DC films. Really any films, but DC films. Any other thoughts there?
No.
Okay, tell us about Gotham Knights.
Oh, Gotham Knights. They put this featurette about the game. It's pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
The story of the game it is another one. It's like, come on, why are you guys doing that? They killed Batman in the beginning of the game, so the rest of the game is going to be the Gotham Knights, Robin, Batgirl, Nightwing, and Red Hood. Is that Robin? I don't think there's Robin there. Anyways, the sons of the Bat in some way. And so the commentary about this featurette, the commentary about the game was the mechanics on how the game takes places every night, because those vigilantes, those heroes, they work at night. So
Gotham Knights at Gotham Knight.
It's open world.
Anyway.
You're gonna explore the city and combat crime, and the crime is gonna be unique and specific to the point that if you decided to stop this crime and not this crime tomorrow might have effects, and it might progress independently. So your choices have weight on all that. Also, as you investigate what to do, your choice is gonna have consequences, because if you don't stop this crime, this guy might go to jail, redeem himself, and change his life. Or if you don't stop him, he might become the next Two-Face or the next Penguin, the next big crime. Which I thought was pretty interesting on how you create a story on gaming based on your choices and the consequences of your choices.
That's very cool. Yeah, this game looks really good, and killing Batman feels a little unnecessary, but I don't know how else you'd get these other characters to really star without wondering the whole time, where's Batman?
He's probably at the end of the game, so.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Dead. Come on.
Okay, let's switch over to Marvel. Marvel says they may have possibly been rumored to find a new Fantastic Four.
Oh, and I do like the girl. What's her name?
Jodie Comer.
Jodie Comer. It's a good actress.
Yeah.
I think she could pull blonde. I mean, she was blonde in Free Guy, right? She could put her blonde hair really well.
And in
hopefully
the last
they will.
duel.
And hopefully she will be blonde, because on the last one, she doesn't need to be blonde. Keep her red or black or brown, whatever she was. I was like, she doesn't need that. Let's make him black and be the Human Torch. Anyways, the movie was a big fail, but it's like it's visual medium. It's like this. She's a pretty white girl. She works with blonde hair. Okay, and she's a good actress, which is most important.
That's
I honestly, there's a lot of rumors about the guy from the show, Netflix show called You. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh yeah.
To be Reed Richards. So those are the big ones around.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I think I'd have a hard time seeing him as Reed Richards, because he's just so evil.
There's something about evil, but it's like this problematic of Fantastic Four in the MCU. It's like age and time.
Sure.
Because it's you're gonna make a young Fantastic Four when like in a chronology in the comics now they are a family. He's a grown man. She's a grown woman. They have kids. You're gonna go back and make them young, or they are adults from adults or older adults from a different Earth multiverse, because they are adventures into these kind of going through different dimensions and different planets. That's the Fantastic Four vibe. So they could do that either way. What they did with Krasinski on Doctor Strange, who was an older one. It's like it had the feel of Doctor Strange, because Dr.
Richards.
Dr. Richards had Mr. Fantastic, but we don't know what they're gonna do. The whole being evil. There's there's people that there's some evidence on the books that Richards is so science, is so exact that he thinks beyond, he reason beyond feelings. To the
Okay.
point that he might have some of that, even being a little bit arrogant. The guy's called Mr. Fantastic. So there's some elements of that. It's not a lot. It's not to the point that he's. But for instance, there's a classic story. The first time that Galactus invades Earth, and they fight in Galactus. And then they send Johnny Storm, the Human Torch, to Galactus' ship to get something to stop Galactus. And Richards tell Johnny, get the total nullifier. And he get the total nullifier, absolute nullifier, I can't remember the name. And then to use to destroy them, and they destroy them, end of story. I mean, spell them, whatever, end of story, and life goes on. There's a what if story where instead of Johnny, Reed goes, but because Reed is so science, is so reason. When he gets there, he saw so many things. He starts studying and analyzing. He doesn't get the proper weapon, and Earth is destroyed. So yeah,
interesting.
When think too much might cause problems.
So if they are casting that guy, they could be playing up the whole like ruthless logic, intellect.
No, I hope no. But that's one element of these characters.
Or that could just be me typecasting this.
It's
this
not completely.
Actor.
It could it could be Doctor Doom too. Again, we don't know. There's rumors about Exposito. I can't remember his name. For Doctor Doom.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Some people say Magneto and some people say Xavier. It's all over. Yeah.
I wouldn't mind if they skipped the whole origin story thing. We have so many origin story movies.
It worked with Spider-Man.
So, it did. It did. Yeah, you mean like skipping the origin?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like we've done it so many times. And this would be the third for the Fantastic Four in like the last 15 years? 20 years? Like we can let's just skip to the middle.
Yeah.
Skip ahead, especially since we don't know how well this will be received. Like, just let's tell a different story. Okay, morning show producers have lost a major lawsuit, and it's
they were suing the insurance company for not paying something because of COVID, and the judge dismissed the case in prejudice. Whatever.
You dismiss it with prejudice, which means you did it
which
fast.
means no, it's not what it means. It means that they cannot appeal.
Oh.
Yeah, it means it's like they lost. Nope, you can't appeal. It's like it's definite, it's absolute. So
I need to look that up then.
Anyways,
cool.
Moving on.
Okay. So there's been talk about Disney Plus doing crossovers between Star Wars series, right?
Yeah.
And it looks like maybe
there's rumors there's gonna be about Thrawn.
Yeah.
So
which makes sense.
It doesn't.
It doesn't?
I mean, if they cross over Boba Fett, The Mandalorian.
Do we know what shows are getting crossovers?
Well, the shows they have.
But they've announced like a whole bunch of new ones.
Like what?
It could be Ahsoka with
Ahsoka, Boba Fett, Mandalorian. What else?
Okay, so it could be Ahsoka and Mandalorian. Just because Ahsoka's already mentioned.
If they cross over all that, where are they gonna go without the Trinity? Without Luke, Leia, and Han?
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's gonna be,
Yeah.
Adaptation. There's an adaptation. They're gonna go. It's like, but this.
But Disney's not pretending to adapt things. They're pretending that none of that happened.
Yeah, but
before.
the rumor is about adapting the Tron trilogy.
Oh, that is what you wrote.
Yeah. So we'll see. It's rumors. We know Tron's gonna eventually pop up because Ahsoka's hunting him.
Yeah.
What's gonna happen?
Yeah, I guess that's why I said that makes sense because Ezra disappeared with Thrawn and then Ahsoka's hunting him. So, I guess it's not too surprising that a big event would involve Thrawn.
Yeah.
Even if it's clearly a departure from the books, but we kind of knew that was happening anyway because Disney said that those were all legends.
Yeah.
And
even
not
though
canon.
they own them, it's ridiculous.
It makes no sense.
Yeah. Anyways.
Makes no sense. All right, we'll see what happens there. Let's finish up with some Star Trek news.
Star Trek. So we saw the trailer for Picard. It looks good, compelling. Picard's back. So Riker, Dr. Crusher, Forgy.
Worf.
What's the book?
LaForge. Jodie LaForge.
Dwarf.
Worf.
Worf.
Yeah.
Who's Dwarf?
I don't know.
Definitely not him.
That's a different show because
gigantic.
Worf is huge, and he looks so good with his old man Klingon white hair. I am pumped about this.
Number 5. This is number 5, right?
Huh?
Number 5.
You're just poking my buttons now, aren't you?
Huh? Number 5. The android.
5?
The android.
The android?
Yeah. Not the android. The one that's mixed with Borgs.
Oh, that's 7 of 9.
7 or 9.
Yeah.
It's number 5 is the Membo. Number 5. Yeah. No, I think Dragon Ball Z. There's an android that's called number 5.
Okay, we'll rewatch some stuff.
Anyways, no, she's a captain of the Titan, which is pretty cool. She was not only forgiven, she was accepted, and she's a captain. So the trailer doesn't show much. It was to show this. It feels like they're gonna steer a ship just like they did on the Star Trek number 3, right?
There's definitely some of that vibe. Although, like, if you're the captain of the ship, can you really steal the ship?
He's not a captain. He's an admiral.
No, but 7 is the captain.
But you know.
So if he convinces 7 to go off on this mission, like.
The people that the Federation that owns that ship. The Federation seems to be the Starfleet seems to be destroyed in the first.
Yeah, there's some big stuff.
Anyways,
it looks
good.
Mm-hmm.
Looks fun.
It does look fun.
Coming sometime.
Was it next year?
Next year.
February.
Sure, February 16. Yes.
Yeah.
The greatest day.
It is the greatest day. What a gift. They're also talking about a new series filling in the gap between Star Trek Voyager and then the film Nemesis.
Yeah.
So this would be a kind of a different time period because Picard is way in the future and all the other...
no. Don't mix up because this is a comic book series.
Oh.
Yeah. So
okay.
So don't mix up the show timeline.
Okay.
Because this will be faithful, will be good because comic books artists, some of them do a terrific job telling stories, expanding universe.
So is this going to be part of the Prime timeline that Picard fits into, like Picard, Discovery?
What timeline?
Or is this going to be part of the Kelvin timeline with like Discovery and?
No,
Discovery is its own timeline.
Yeah, it's
but
Quark. They give a name. I can't remember.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyways, no, this is part of the Picard timeline. The timeline
the Prime
from the
timeline.
Next Generation is to fill in the gap between Voyager. That isn't the same timeline to Nemesis.
So that's all called the Prime timeline.
Yes.
Okay. The Prime line, if you will. Cool. Okay, I didn't realize those were comic books. I thought we were getting another.
Isn't that called Alpha? Timeline? Alpha timeline. Anyways.
Maybe I've only heard Prime, but.
Okay. Last but not least,
Carol Kane has been cast as a new chief of engineering or a new engineer on Strange New Worlds. So she's not a witch; she's an engineer.
Yeah.
Little Princess Bride reference.
How about Strange New Worlds real quick? Gregory Peck the third. I can't remember. Yeah. Ethan Peck. It's actually Gregory Peck's grandson. There's Spock on the show. He was on a Comic-Con somewhere, and he was talking about how he almost was Captain America in the MCU, and he also was the Deep on The Boys. So
I'm really glad he got neither of those roles because I think he's doing a great job as Spock.
Yeah.
Dare I say better than Zachary Quinto? It's not fair to compare them. He's doing a great job, and I'm really enjoying this show.
Anyways, that's it for this week. We see you next week with tons of things. You're going to see Cobra Kai this weekend.
Oh, boy.
We're going to talk about a lot of other things. May the force be with you.
Live long and prosper.
Bye.
Bye.